I've been on Mastron for a little while, so I decided to go over to a small dosage of Deca, 150 milligrams a week maybe on Deca. So I'm curious because I know Mastron in the past always kind of helped me monitor the estradiol a little more. That could have played an influence there.
Because you weren't taking any aromatase inhibitors.
No, not the first time we did it for 37.
Yeah,
I was using.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
A level of estradiol of 37. Meanwhile, your testosterone was almost 3,000. The tricky part will be getting B vitamins into you, but I think your wife can help you with that with IV vitamin infusions. And
that also helps with absorption too of like PEDs or anything.
Right.
Like that.
You were talking about that.
I feel like. I don't know, I thought it was interesting that my testosterone dropped tremendously. I haven't changed the dosage of testosterone actually. I'm still doing half, so call it 150 milligrams of test sip every other day. So call it 450 milligrams a week roughly. So still pretty moderate, I'd say. I'm not going crazy.
No, just Mastron, a little Mastron.
Mastron and also Project AD. They have a supplement called Ester Pro. I'll have to bring it in so we can look at it, what's in it and stuff. But
look at the active ingredients.
That's it, because the big thing I try to stay away from is the anastrozole and the Arimidex, just killers when it comes to blood panels. Like,
it suppresses HDL, and long term, I think it may predispose to cognitive issues because estrogen is neuroprotective, it's joint protective, it's cardioprotective. One reason why women die less than men of heart attacks and strokes is because they have estrogen throughout their whole life. But the moment that menopause hits, they get the shut off of estrogen, then that graph, it equalizes, that heart attack and stroke graph. Because usually it's like men are here, women are here, but then past menopause it's even, and they get the same amount of heart attacks and strokes. So when you turn off estrogen, you get more heart attacks and strokes. So I don't recommend suppressing estrogen or crushing it.
Yeah.
You want to ride. And if you're not having side effects of high estrogen, I wouldn't worry about it. Like, sure, it's redlined on the lab test, but are you having nipple sensitivity, problems there, emotionality? No, then let it ride. Hemoglobin is 18.7. So I just wrote you a prescription to donate some blood to One Blood, so you can go do that. And they won't dump. The only reason One Blood dumps blood is if you're taking an AI or if you're taking something like finasteride or dutasteride, because that's contaminating the blood.
Okay.
But if you're not, your blood is a great candidate to help other people.
Awesome.
A little bit high in retic hemoglobin, so there's a little bit of pressure on the bone marrow to produce more red blood cells. So that's common when you're doing testosterone or DECA. A little bit more stimulation to produce red blood cells. Other reasons to have high hemoglobin, I should just point out, it can be sleep apnea. Sometimes you'll see that in the red blood cells too. The red blood cells would be like bigger because when people have sleep apnea, essentially they're suffocating at night. And so the body adapts by increasing the size of the red blood cells so that they carry more oxygen, or increasing the count of red blood cells because the body wants more oxygen. But the moment they get on the CPAP machine, that oftentimes will resolve itself. And then if they're not getting oxygen, they're not getting nitric oxide at night, they're going to get high blood pressure as well. The inflammation marker is something I always look at in my bodybuilders. Homocysteine level is elevated. It's up to 12, from 10 to 12. This, you can easily modify this with folate, so methylfolate supplementation, B12, B6, and trimethylglycine, which is like actually a common bodybuilder supplement, TMG. Bodybuilders will use about 5 grams a day to gain mass, gain muscle. It's like oftentimes in creatine stack. It's also known as betaine anhydrous. It'll be in like energy drinks, it'll be in oftentimes supplements. You may be taking it. At the dose to try to lower high homocysteine, you're probably going to want to take about 6 to even 10 milligrams of methylfolate daily. You want to take about 5 grams of trimethylglycine. You also want to make sure you're taking B12 and B6. Doing all that, you can usually reduce your homocysteine levels. It can be elevated from something called an MTHFR mutation, where you have a predilection towards problems with your folate. And your methylation. May not detox things very well either. But you can manage this. It's also will be high in people who drink alcohol. I know you don't drink alcohol, but people come to me with high homocysteine. Oftentimes they're drinking high alcohol. And why does alcohol drive this up? Alcohol is inflammatory. It also depletes you of your B vitamins. Homocysteine is independently associated with cardiovascular risk, stroke, heart attacks, and cognitive decline. All my gut protocols.
Yeah. I think it's one of the most underrated supplements, personally. But
a lot of people have got issues, they need to be taking glutamine.
Yeah.
And here's your omega-3 to omega-6 balance and ratio. your omega-6s are very high and your omega-3s are very low. So this puts you in a mismatch, high 6, low 3s. Did you say you were supplementing fish oil or no?
No.
You should. Or even pharmaceutical grade Vasipa. So Vasipa is been studied to decrease cardiovascular disease. It improves triglycerides, so it can help lower triglycerides. It may help improve HDL. It can help improve lipid panels. It's a prescription dose fish oil, essentially. You can also take your own fish oil. I would recommend for you about 2 grams twice a day.
Okay.
So about 4 grams a day at least.
I have a liquid one in my fridge.
Yeah?
I'm the guy that buys it, and that's the one supplement that I usually...
I understand with liquid.
Yeah.
Vasipa is a capsule you can take, and then there's other fish oil that are capsules, but try to hit at least 4 grams a day, and then maybe adding some fish to the diet. Do you do much fish?
Not unless it's contest prep or it's sushi.
So you're one of those, you're like the Rock Dwayne Johnson who'll eat like cod 8 times a day?
Yeah, okay. I'm a cod guy when it comes to contest prep, usually last couple weeks. Interesting.
Inflammation.
I've always been focused on HDL, so that's good feedback.
Yeah, it may not be possible for you to raise it.
Yeah.
Especially, higher testosterone guys, it does suppress HDL.
Okay.
But we can manage other things, like your lipids, like your lipid count. 50, it's on your small, dense LDL number. It went up a little bit, actually.
Almost doubled.
Yeah. That can be dietary related, too. And that will also be influenced through the medications that we may or may not use.
Question before we jump into inflammation.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be a myth. It could be fact. You tell me. But a lot of people, when it comes to blood work, like I've had coaches tell me, like, hey, make sure you don't eat any red meat the day before blood work. Make sure you keep your fats low. Like you could get a false reading on your lipid profile. If
you don't fast before a test, you probably see higher lipid values. Like if you eat, it's going to be higher. But I think you should just eat your regular diet how you are normally eating, and they can give us a reflection of your lipids.
Okay. But nothing would like throw it off that much. If I had like a burger and fries the day before, 7 ounces of steak, like...
Possibly.
Okay.
I have had patients test this for us by doing actually fasting. So I have patients do 3, 5, and 7 day fast to see what it does to the lipid particle counts.
Okay.
What do you think happens?
I think they get better.
They get worse.
Oh.
Actually, oftentimes the LDL goes up.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have thought the opposit. I thought maybe it would give a false sense of like.
That's what I thought.
A spike.
Too.
Okay.
But oftentimes the LDLs do go up.
Well, myth. we debunked it. Eat your normal diet before blood work. Then.
Yeah. We want to get the average.
Okay.
Yeah. I had this one guy. He did a raw milk fast. He just had raw milk for like 20 or 30 days.
That's it?
Yeah. And then we checked his labs. What the lab showed is that his insulin resistance went up. He got more insulin resistant, but his lipids did decrease.
Okay.
So the raw milk fast did decrease his lipids.
Interesting. I won't ever do that, but
no,
good to know.
I wouldn't recommend it. But also this is dependent on your cardio and your interval training. So if you're not doing a lot of cardio.
Oh, there's none.
Yeah, so triglycerides might run a little higher.
I should probably start doing some if I'm not training legs now with the hamstring, so we'll see.
You may have to do upper body if you can't do much lower for like running or stair stepping might hurt with the hamstring.
Yeah.
The HDL did improve a little bit from 23, which is very low, up to 26. So that's improved some. Apo A is a carrier protein of HDL, so when this is more in the red area, it's a sign that your HDL is low. So it's just confirmatory towards what we saw earlier. Your Apo B, it did decrease from 133 to 116. So again, probably due to the red yeast rice. I gave you that option. You could do a statin drug, pharmaceutical grade way of lowering Apo B, or red yeast rice, which is really dose dependent. So 1.2 grams, probably twice daily is what you should go for to see that. I'd like to see Apo B below 90 ideally.
Okay.
So Apo B is more atherogenic lipid particle number. And the higher the count, the more likely to develop cardiovascular disease long term. So something we want to keep in check for our bodybuilders, because the HDL, you can't really change that too much. There's been studies attempting to do pharmaceutical interventions to lower HDL. It doesn't really change cardiovascular outcomes.
Oh.
I was just at a conference last weekend, and we heard a lecture, and I asked them this very topic, like how to help young, athletic, lean guys increase their HDL. And he's like, there's really not much way. You can do fish oil.
Yeah.
You could do Vasipa, even pharmaceutical grade fish oil. It might move the number a little bit.
Yeah.
He says the best is just managing the Apo B and the LDL. For micronutrients, carnitine. Sometimes bodybuilders will inject carnitine during cardio to help with fat lipolysis. Inositol is very important for insulin sensitivity. CoQ10, very important, especially if you're taking a statin drug to take CoQ10. It's an enzyme that's important for like 400 enzymatic reactions in the body. Very important for muscular health, energy, cardiovascular health. Your CoQ10 is decent.
Fun fact for inositol.
Yeah.
I worked at GNC. That was the #1 product that drug dealers would come in for.
Why?
They would cut inositol powder into Coke.
Whoa.
Yeah. We used to have to keep it behind the counter because we had so many like drug dealers. They'd come in for inositol powder. It was so expensive, way overpriced. But yeah, that's what they would do with that.
That is wacky.
Yeah.
Any other powder would have done.
You would think. That's why I always wondered, like, why inositol powder?
Look here, your antioxidant precursor, cysteine. Cysteine and glycine are two of the precursors that produce glutathione. And you are quite deficient in your cysteine. So this is an easy supplement. You can take NAC every night, 2 grams.
That's good for a liver, too.
Very good for your liver. And it will help support your glutathione, which your glutathione is also on the very, very, very low end of the reference range here.
Okay.
So that's easy enough to incorporate. It'd be great for your liver detoxification.
We'll do that.
On the low end there, you could do with some selenium. Make sure you're getting that in. It's very important for your thyroid health. I've seen bodybuilders go up to an HSCRP of 70, 80 plus by injecting strange substances that are pure inflammation. In those cases, we get them on pharmaceutical grade product and we just see what a baseline looks like. Yours isn't too bad. I mean, your previous score was 0.7, your score now is 1.1. This can also be dietary related. Another reason I see this high in general population is if they're like eating Chick-fil-A, eating a bunch of fried foods all the time. Again, that's high inflammation right in their body, and that's we can see that in the HSCRP elevation. Other reasons for high HSCRP can be rheumatological diseases, so autoimmune, inflammatory, gut problem. Vitamin C, very important antioxidant. Serum was okay, cellular a little bit on the low end there, so you could do also with a bit of vitamin C as well. Your vitamin D is 36.6. It's okay, it's a little on the low end there. I like to see my patients have a little bit higher vitamin D level, like above 60. So you may benefit from a bit of vitamin D. And you can also get that sublingual, absorbs very well. Vitamin E, very important for your skin health and cardiovascular health as well. So you may do some vitamin E supplementation because you're pretty low on both those. K1 is also low. And K1 is very important for coagulation, bruising. So if you're bruising easily, if you have tendency to bleed, K1 is very important for coagulation. It's a problem for women. They oftentimes have heavy bleeding and they're oftentimes K1 deficient. It's found in leafy green vegetables, so if you eat those, you may get enough K1. But again, if you have absorption issues in the gut, you may not get enough K1. And the other one is K2 that you're deficient in. K2, very important for cardiovascular health because it prevents calcification of the arteries. And it also improves the calcium assimilation in your bones, so it improves your bone strength. So you would do well to do a K2 supplement, and oftentimes this quality vitamin D will come with K2, D3, K2, because supplementing with vitamin D alone can increase calcium in the blood, and that can be problematic for cardiac arrhythmias and also that calcification issue.
Like, if you can't train hamstrings, you can't really train too much quality.
Poke, poke.